Hi guys, I'm so annoyed. I've been filming and I didn't realize that it was on freaking private. So this whole time, this 20 minutes I was talking went absolutely nowhere and nobody was on. I was like, what's going on? Something seems so off. But anyway, let me get everybody back on here again because clearly, I'm so irritated, but we move. It's okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to another Monday. KB's in chai wherever chai here. It's actually water. It's so hot. Just a little background. I left my friend's house. They live on the Google bypass, and I walked home. So I'm still hot. Like internally, I feel very hot. So I look a little bit crazy. I didn't put on makeup or anything like that. But it is what it is. It's fine. Today's an informative video, so it's all good. I'm so sorry. So like as I mentioned, literally was filming this for. How are you getting on? Oh, hi Lillian. I'll answer questions in a second. Yeah, I was literally filming this for 20 minutes. Like, what is going on? Why is nobody being added? What's happening? I literally even went on Instagram being like, we're going live. Turns out the whole video was private. All 19 minutes of me filming. So here we are again. So today's topic, if you guys didn't know, is about dual citizenship, special passes and visas in Uganda. I do know from my Uganda peeps who are lucky enough to have their Ugandan passport, this probably is not as relevant to you, but it's all good. We're chilling. You can maybe share this information with somebody else. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping before we get into everything. Yeah, like I said, I'm not all done up today because I walked for an hour to get home and it felt good. I was trying to get exercise and a couch potato for like a week and a half because of lockdown. How are y'all's lockdowns going? Hi, Divine, how are you? Yeah, mine has been great. I was at my friend's house for like 5 days or 6 days or something. So I came back to do my live, do some laundry, clean, get a little bit recentered and whatnot. Also want to talk about the merch store. So this is one of the shirts. There's writing on here. I don't think you guys can tell. I had to remove these from the merch store though, just because they weren't coming out very clear, but it's supposed to say the Pearl of Africa and writing all around in the map of UG. So the merch store does have other merchandise other than apparel. So I had to take off apparel, but there's stuff like water bottles and things like that, like mugs, really cute like gifts and little knickknack things, and shirts and sweaters and stuff will come back soon. Last thing I want to mention is a huge thank you to all you supportive people. Like I feel like our community is growing and things are happening. I think a lot of you are starting to realize like it's pretty dope to be here in Africa. And like, even if you don't move full time, there's so much information you can gain about investing and living in Uganda. And you guys have been super supportive, supporting the team and efforts of me trying to buy better camera equipment and stuff. So I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who do want to support and whatnot, all the information is in the description box below with the mobile money and like all of that stuff. And links and addresses. I feel so awkward saying all that, but people are always like, no, it's a business, so just be free to share. So okay, whatever. Anyway, now that all of that is out of the way, like I said, today's live is all about dual citizenship, special passes, and all that. So I'm gonna go through my journey and talk to you guys about that, and then like give you guys information as we go. So initially I had come in October 2019. And when I came, for some reason, they wouldn't give me more than a 3-month pass. 3-month visa. Like, I don't know why I asked. It's obviously there. You can do 1 year, 2 years. But honestly, I think it was God also telling me, like, if I got longer, I have been lazy as AF, which is actually what ended up happening, but we'll get into that for a little bit. Anyway, so I came in October, end of October, and I was going to Ghana in end of December with my friends. But I had to get another visa to extend. So the most they gave me was from January when I arrived back in the country, which was the first week of January, which we came back, till March. So end of March is when it was expiring. But I was like, oh, I'm leaving in March. I'm going back to Canada to like pack up my things and do my great move to Uganda, which never happened. COVID caught me and I never left. Like the week I was supposed to leave was the week, like literally a week right before I was supposed to leave, Museveni closed the borders like at like midnight that day. Like I was at a secret going away party for myself, and he was like, borders are closed immediately. I was like, okay. So obviously I couldn't leave, and gonna like push my ticket or anything like that. I probably could have now that I think about it, but I also really wanted to stay. I didn't think it was gonna be a pandemic for almost 2 years. But anyway, so my visa is expiring. Obviously, once everything closed, that meant like offices were closed, government offices, everything. So for months, I just kept going, like every couple of weeks, going on the Internal Affairs website looking for updates on how I can get like my passports done and my visa and stuff. First of all, there's no information on none of them websites. Let me just tell you all that now. They also didn't update once they opened. So once we were officially open, it was October. So can you guys imagine? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months later, I was actually able to walk into Internal Affairs office and figure myself out. So I walked in and I was like, look, I've been trying to update to get myself like proper, like my visa extended so I can update my, like get my dual citizenship. They literally were like, we've been open since July. I'm like, your website doesn't say that. I've been calling, I called the time, no one picks up. It just goes beep, beep, beep immediately. And the guy even was like, our phones work. Look, they work right now. What are you talking about? It was so crazy. So I had to prove to them that I wasn't lying, that I actually was trying to, so they can get me in good standing. So the thing is, you can't apply for your dual citizenship unless you're in good standing. And then so my issue was that I was expired. I was just like a little illegal alien all up in these Kampala streets. So end of October, I'm like trying to do all this. And then they were like, okay, also they don't have their own information correct. So the lady I talked to was like, no, you apply for a visa extension. So that's what I applied for. Then I got denied. I'm like, denied? Like, what am I supposed to do then? And then someone else said, or sorry, their answer was, you're supposed to apply for a special pass. I think it was just like, to be honest with you, it's kind of like the same thing. I don't understand what the difference is. But I do know, like, just like everything else in Uganda, you need 2 passport photos for everything. So I had to collect my documents. I had to give a letter to prove why, or to state why exactly I wanted a special pass. So it was like, okay, it's my birthright to be Ugandan and I want to get my dual citizenship. And I can't do that process because I have to do it while I'm here. So like I said, guys, don't run with what anybody says at any place. Like ask like 5 people before you leave anything. So like I said, I got my 2 passport photos. Like me, I like quick. I collect my documents when I need to. So I got my 2 passport pictures. I got my letter and everything. So some lady who had nothing to do with what I was going through, like nothing to do with my situation, my case, or whatever, she just worked there, was like, oh, well, you can do this in Ottawa. You can do this in Canada. You can do this in Ottawa. Why do you need to do this when you're in Uganda? I think she was just trying to like power trip. I literally looked at her. I'm like, do you know the difference between Toronto and Ottawa? That's like 4 hours. You guys already do this runaround thing. How am I going to do a runaround thing from 4 hours away, 4.5 hours away from my house? Like, make it make sense, right? So luckily, I wasn't dealing with her. Her colleague came, who was super nice. Guys, be super nice to people at all these places, because like power trip is real. And some days, anyway, we'll get into stories later. So essentially, finally, I was able to get my special pass once I had told them, like, it's my birthright to be Ugandan and I want to have my Ugandan citizenship, but with my Canadian, etc, etc, etc. Had my documents ready. So then they extended it. And this was like December 2020 or January. I'm pretty sure it was January because it got accepted and then it was Christmas holidays, so nothing was really properly open. So the first week of January, in my brain, I don't know what I thought, Jan 2021, I was like, I'm gonna get my dual citizenship in 1 week. I'm gonna get my passport in 1 week. Guys, for some reason, I thought the dual citizenship would come with the passport. Maybe it's me, but I thought it was common sense. I'm like, obviously. So here I was, guys, up until maybe like a month ago thinking I'm getting my passport. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get my passport in 1 week. I'm gonna get my passport in 1 week. I got myself sorted. Then I could go to Canada with like nothing pending and stuff. Like I'm good, right? No more visas, no more this back and forth, whatever. So I go do my, to go on the website to go start the whole process of dual citizenship. So there's a whole slew of things that you need. So let me open my documents because it's so funny actually. Like there's a particular order you have to do everything in. You can't just go and yeah, there's just a particular order. Because otherwise you're gonna be just bouncing all over Kampala like I did, and I'm trying to help y'all out. So first place you need to go do is to go and get to prove that your country allows dual citizenship. So for me and how things run abroad, you just assume, you go on the website, the government website, there's a whole section about how Canadians are allowed to be dual citizenships. I screenshotted that and went on my merry way. No, they literally were like, you need to go to your country's embassy or consulate and you need to get this letter. And why I know this isn't Canadian at all is because the price of it and all, I was like, nowhere in Canada do we even do this. Like, please. This would be like, at worst, like a $10 thing. Anyways, so I had to go to Canadian consulate, which is located like on Parliament Avenue, just in town, or I think off of Parliament Avenue, but it's in town. Literally the dingiest little office in like a corner somewhere, a crevice. It's really funny. So I get there, and then the people there, they were very nice, but they were like, okay, it's $150K to get your letter. I was like, whatever, I just need my letter. So why you need to go here first is because one letter goes to Internal Affairs, the next letter goes to Interpol. And so there's no point in going to Interpol first, because I remember I think I had done that, and then it was just a runaround. I swear to God, I was at Interpol 5 to 7 times, somewhere in that spiel of things. To the point I have people's numbers and everything. Hello, Kinganda, hey guys. If you haven't checked out their channel, you should. They have a lot of information about what's happening in Uganda and cool things and such. Anyway, yeah, so once I got that, then I went to Interpol. So Interpol, I Googled, they said they open at 9. If you arrive at Interpol by 9 a.m., you're already late. You're late. Like, they won't allow you in. They'll just look at you and be like, come tomorrow. You need to be at Interpol at 6:30 in the morning. Like, I remember, because it was still like lockdown provisions, 6 o'clock, Uber is allowed to move. At 6, I'd be calling, being like, can you pick me by 7? Like, can you pick me so I can be at Interpol by 7? I need to be at Interpol by 7. Like, it was crazy. Or like 6:37. So the first time I went, first of all, it's like a COVID fest there. Just like every other, like, anywhere you need to go get documents and things done, it's like people are just breathing on you behind you. I'm like, it's a line, relax. Like, you're still gonna get in, like, bruh. So Interpol is really funny. You need to go with your passport as a foreigner. I would recommend, because things always change and they don't update their website very well, but their website is more informative than Internal Affairs. But anyway, mind you, just go at 9 one of these days and just inquire, just in case anything changes. So just because this might be outdated in like a month, because who knows. Anyway, you need 2 passport photos. You need, like everywhere else, like a cover letter, because you need to get your good conduct, letter of good conduct from them. Basically, it's international police, and they just want to make sure you ain't MWIA all over the place doing God knows what in other countries with other passports. So yeah, basically you're just trying to get your biometrics, like your thumbprints and your photo, just to prove Rachel is good. It only lasts for 6 months though. So you need to, once you do that, make sure everything else is rolling and you have everything going. Basically, sorry, where was I? So Interpol, I went at 9 in the morning. I just got a bunch of information, which was super helpful, which the guy there was really nice. What I would recommend, any of these places you go, get like a number so you can get your updated status. The only difference for, like, for example, when I went to go do the Canadian consulate, because it's not embassy, Canadian consulate, that happened that day. Oh, you can only take cash too, they don't take cards. And then also why Interpol, you have to go back numerous times, is because you also have to make a payment at a bank, and they have the form at the bank. So you go to the bank, one of the many banks. You can do it online, but I wouldn't necessarily do that, because oftentimes payments and things go missing online and they can't track things. Just do it with cash. It's too old school, I know, but it is what it is. So I went to DTB Bank or something. I think the reason the Scary of all people told me to go there was because it ends up going direct. Like, that's the bank they associate with, as opposed to pending for a few days. So you pay $70K for your biometrics. Eventually they will call you or email you or something, or tell you to come back. You when you go, always take your passport, because they only take 50 foreigners a day, but they take a whole bunch of Ugandans. So there's a line for Ugandans. So when you go, it's so overwhelming, but those people don't really have anything to do with you, because you need good conduct letters for like jobs, to do basic things all over like the city. If somebody wants to employ you, they just generally want good conduct letters. So there's many people, but that doesn't have nothing to do with the foreigner line. So you just go and you're like, I'm Canadian, you wave your passport, they let you in, and then you're in a whole different line. Go early so you're not 50th on that line, because you sit in a tent. social distance, but not really. People are yelling at you. You're like, you told me to go here, but now you're telling me to go there. Why are you yelling at me? Your colleague told me to go. Like, it's absolute chaos and just it's psychotic. So anyway, once that's all done, oh, remember to go dress decently because they told me I came in work shorts. They're wearing short shorts, guys. You know, like you can go offices like abroad in work shorts. I had teachers who would teach us in cute shorts, high-waisted, like mid-thigh, like normal, like nothing wrong. Woman looked me up and down and was like, go home and dress decent. I went in my car, changed in gym clothes. I was like, bitch, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm always coming back and forth. Like, this is just annoying. Like, I'm getting my shit done today. So anyway, then they call you back. I think it's 14 days after the fact, and then you do your thumbprints. And then they tell you to come back to pick up the certificate. But when you come back to pick the certificate, it doesn't have to be 7 a.m. You can come at any time. And they close at 2 or something for some reason. And then yeah, that's Interpol, done and out of the way. Like, guys, never want to see that place again in my life. Anyway, so let me talk about the next thing, just on my list. Here is letter of sanity. This was the easiest thing to do. You just need to go to a doctor. Me, I was like, all I know is like the surgery. So I called them. They said, yeah, they do them. I asked for how much. They said 150K. I'm like, that's abnormally high, but whatever. Went there. I needed it instant because I had to be home for something. I don't remember why, but it wasn't curfew, but it was something. Anyway, ended up there waiting. I'm like, yo, this is taking so damn long. This doesn't make sense. This is supposed to be like one of the better places to go. So I was just irritated. So I went back in my Uber, drove down like on my way home, and randomly saw this clinic I always go to. So I asked him, can you just stop here? Let me just quickly see like if they'll do it for me quick, like right now, because I wanted those documents in ASAP. I think that was what my worry was. Like the next day I like had everything else. I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I go, I'm like, do you do letters of sanity? She's like, yeah. I'm like, for how much? She said 30K. I'm like, why the hell was I gonna pay 150K? Guys, go anywhere, go to these clinics anywhere, ask how much it is, go get it done. So anyway, she asked me a bunch of questions to make sure I was sane and I'm well and I'm, good to go. They obviously have to be legitimate. Don't go doing weird fake documents, guys. Don't be about that life. Anyway, she stamped it. It was legit. Life is good. I keep all of my stuff, by the way, in like a thing like this, just because you need to repeat documents for later down the road for other things like national ID. I don't know, maybe even driver's license. Who knows? Everything is in this thing. So got my letter of sanity. That was super easy. Cover letter. I literally Googled dual citizenship. I think maybe I even put Africa or something. Yeah, I literally was like getting my shit done today. So cover letter. This random cover letter popped up, and it was some guy in Ghana like looking for national ID, to do his dual citizenship. I literally just changed his name and information, put mine, and they were happy with it. So I think, let me find it. I want to find the documents for you guys so you guys can kind of word things the same, because it's super easy. So, okay, so basically I wrote it. It's so like basic. I just wrote, to whom I may concern, my name is RachaelNalumu, obviously my full name, and I'm applying for dual citizenship as an indigenous Ugandan, because there's different different thingies to do. So when I was looking this all up, it was $400 USD for anybody to apply for citizenship, as far as I was concerned. There were two different things though. No, sorry. It was $400 if you were indigenous and $1,000 if you were non-indigenous to become a Ugandan citizen. Now, actually, it's funny. In the process of me putting in my papers, it cut in half. So it's $200 if you're indigenous Ugandan, but $5,000 if you're anything else. I heard all these rumors about like people from like different African countries wanting to do fraud abroad, like fraud in Asia and things. So they'll come because apparently at the time it was super easy to get a Ugandan passport. Get a Ugandan passport to stay there Ugandan. Obviously, if you met them, you would know they're from a different country. They're not Ugandan, and they'd go and do fraud in other places. So I think the government must have made it harder. I know that's my assumption, but anyway. So now I was just saying, like literally, this is what he wrote. I was considered a citizen of such and such, Uganda, until July 1996, because that's when we became Canadian citizens, when I was accepted as a Canadian citizen. I previously held a Ugandan passport number such and such, because at the time you can have your children under passports worldwide before they made kids get passports. So it was under my mom's So my mom still has her passport. Like, it's so funny. Like, has our names written in, like me and my one sister and everything. So I had her passport number, her full name. And then I currently reside in Canada and hold a Canadian passport. I'm currently pursuing to obtain my Ugandan dual citizenship and reside in Uganda. I have enclosed all supported documents required by the Ugandan immigration system. And then I appreciate your time, and then I sign my name. Super easy, super straight to the point. The cover letter is the least of your problems. I think I was Googling this while waiting for something like internal affairs or like Interpol. Like, I was at another establishment, like, let me get all my things done, period. So then there's you have to print Form AA. Form AA, though, I think there was something that like I stumbled on that was irritating me. I don't remember, but let me double check. Oh, okay. So basically, a lot of these forms are freaking repetitive. It's the same thing over and over. They ask for your address. They ask for where you were born. They ask for your parents' birthday date, or date of birth, where they were born. I'm like, well, I already filled this out. Like, a lot of it's repetitive, but it's useful. So I had to put my Canadian stuff, but there was something that was off that I wanted to talk about. Oh, reason for present application? No, I think that was easy. I just said I was born in Uganda and I want to be Ugandan again, because I was. Oh, I was number 6. It's acquire my additional citizenship by registration. Other than that, everything was pretty straightforward. There will be people who claim that they can, for I don't know, like 100K, which is what I paid to somebody, which irritated me. For 100K, they could. People told me expedite, but now that I think about it, I was like, this, and he never actually used those words. Everyone else was confused about what their services are. I realized in Uganda, I hate to say it, but it is true. We're very lazy people. We'd rather other people do things for us and pay for them to do it for us than for us to just do it ourselves. All of this is mad easy. You can do it yourself. So paid him thinking it would expedite it. That guy did absolutely nothing but sit on my money. They're literal. Muhayas out here trying to make money off of randomness. So anyway, back to my main point. Form A is super easy. Notarized oath of allegiance. So my grandpa is a lawyer. So luckily I was able to go to him for a lot of the stuff, as well as being my recommender. But he was my recommender as just a Ugandan, like as his profession, it didn't state that we were grandparent and grandchild, because he said that they don't take it as seriously. So don't get your family members to do anything if you can avoid it. Or if you do, because in Uganda you don't really share last names, or at least as Uganda I don't anyway. So it didn't trace that he's my grandpa. So everything was him as a professional lawyer or whatever. So that was super easy. That didn't cost me anything. I don't know how much a lawyer would charge, because he didn't charge me for any of the legal stuff. So yeah, that was mad easy. I just had to work around his time. So bless him, he's such a sweetheart, but he works so hard still. I don't know why. He literally does so much. So a recommendation letter, and also photos of their national ID. Just get photos of everyone's national IDs. Your parents, your recommender, because you're actually going to need this stuff for your national ID anyway, so you might as well have all of this. My mom doesn't have a national ID, and my dad doesn't have a national ID, and my mom doesn't have a passport, a Ugandan passport. So I used my mom's old one that had expired that I was on, as well as her national ID that she has. And then I used my dad's passport and just said he had no national ID, because he doesn't. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, but we'll get into that in the next segment. Hope this doesn't go over an hour. Okay, good. We're good. Okay, so yeah, recommendation letter, which should basically state, let me just find it so that you guys have a general gist, an idea of how that might actually be gone. But I think it was pretty straightforward. This is his recommendation letter. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it was mad easy. It was like the other one where it literally is like 3 sentences. My name is, my judge's name, and I'm writing in reference to me, Rachel, and her application for dual citizenship in Uganda. I am proud to offer my recommendation to Rachel, to whom I personally have known for a long time. Rachel is a very enterprising and committed young lady. Mind you, this is supposed to be written as though he's not my grandpa, right? So keep it simple and short. Like she's such a great granddaughter. Like that's not what they want to see. I believe that she will contribute positively to the building of our nation, relying on the unique skills that she has acquired in the country where she was raised. Securing Ugandan citizenship will stabilize her reconnection with her roots and give her a sense of pride and joy in Uganda. And then contact me for information. So super, super straightforward, nothing complicated. I just had to keep going back and forth because I kept forgetting things. But if you can, just literally word it how I said it, fill in the blanks with whatever your information is, and print. Then next thing was birth certificate. So I was born in a non-English speaking country. They don't want that. They don't understand what it is. You could have forged it, made some shit up. So they required me to, which is so funny because I didn't even know I had, anyway, they required me to go and actually go get it, what is it called? Oh my God, I'm losing my words. To go translate it. So there's a Swedish embassy. I was born in Sweden for those of you guys who don't know. So there is a Swedish consulate or embassy or whatever, but they don't actually have authorization to do anything. And in Sweden, unfortunately, you don't get birth certificates. So you get this thing called, oh, here it is. Personbävis. I'm saying so English. But anyway, so essentially it just says, it's a tax form for anybody whenever you're born. It gives you your information, gives you a number like as an ID and whatever. I had this ready to go, get there after weeks of collecting things. Mind you, at this point, I think we're in February. And they're like, no, what is this? We don't know what this says. You need to go and get it translated. Call the consulate here, which turns out was a family friend. And she's such a sweetheart. We actually hadn't seen each other since we were like 5 or something. She was such a sweetheart. And she was like, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it, but you can call or email or something. She gave me a website link. Emailed them. They were like, we cannot email you this information. We can only mail it to you. So therefore, I had to wait for it to get mailed to Canada. My sister had to screenshot it and then send it to me, like scan it and send it to me via email. And then weeks later, I got it. So that was a bit of a thing. So I just wanted to mention that part for anyone who's born in a non-English speaking country. They won't know it's about, like, granted, that makes sense. They wouldn't know it's a birth certificate, but oddly enough, we used that one that was in Swedish in Canada to apply for citizenship. But anyway, the next thing is proof of profession. I work for myself. The reason why I wanted to mention this part is because when you work for yourself, it's harder to get things like proving documentation, whatever. So I wrote a letter stating what I do, how much I get paid. Then I gave examples on the document of like, what's it called? Of invoices that I've given previous, like my clients, like previous invoices, so that they can see, like, I can see myself. This is too much. Yeah, Brenda, I don't know which part you mean is too much, but the whole process is just too much. Anyway, so those are all the main things you needed to do. So the date I finally put in my dual citizenship application was March 3rd. Then they give you an application ID number and whatever. And then you can log in and check the status. Eventually, I checked the status in April. And I know it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. I don't know why this process, I do know, like, obviously, like, you are applying to be a citizen of a country that holds a lot of weight. So I guess I can see why. It just irritates me, the back and forth. That's why I'm doing this video. Like, if I can give you the information, it's super easy and laid out. You don't have to run around like I did, like a freaking headless chicken through a Kampala. Anyway, so the day I made payment, because it's 200 USD, and then they give you a form that you can take to the bank. You go to the bank, guys. It's like living in 1970 sometimes. You go to the bank with the form. Then they take your payment, which is in shillings. They find an equivalent, but it's $200, and they'll tell you on the form equivalent in shillings. You go, you pay in your shillings if you want, and then they stamp it. Then you have to go and take that to Internal Affairs. So the date payment was allowed to be made was April 17th. So that's basically like a month and a half exactly after. Yeah, so it was 274 and 18 shillings was the total. Then they called me back to do my biometrics, which I was so excited. I thought I was getting my passport. Go to get my biometrics. Guys, there's no information to tell you anything after that. You go, you have to, when you walk into Internal Affairs, also please dress decently, because they will tell you yet again. They're like, oh, your aunties are here. They want to tell you something. What was I wearing that day? I think I was wearing a dress, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like, I looked fine. Anyway, some women, female Askari officers, whatever, were like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian, because I knew, I was like, something ain't right. I'm like, I'm Canadian. And they're like, well, here. No, I said I was Ugandan. I kept saying I was Ugandan because I always say that, but then they can tell, obviously, accent. So I was like, no, I'm Ugandan. They're like, no, where are you really from? I'm like, Uganda. They're like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm Canadian. So they're like, well, here we dress decently. Just letting you know, we'll let you go in this time, but next time when you come back, come dressed appropriately. Anyway, story of my life everywhere. Just go in a freaking burqa if you're gonna go do these freaking documents. So I go do my biometrics, go do my thumb thingies. I go take all of your things like you do at the what's it called? At the airport when you land. I don't know why they can't take the biometrics from Interpol, but maybe two different entities, none of my business. So I went and did it. All they gave me, bless them, but I'm like, this is like my proof that I'm here. I want to make sure my information thing. This certificate. I got a certificate, and that's it. I was like, where's my passport? How do I get a passport? They're like, that's a different process. You need to go and apply online on a different website. I was so irritated. I'm like, all of this. Anyway, so as of April 23rd, or actually I think a week after when I collected my certificate, is when I became a Ugandan citizen. It says April 19th here. So like an official dual citizen, because I'm citizen, or by birth, I have rights, but you can't, okay, only actually as of maybe a few years ago, you couldn't be anything dual, like you were Ugandan or you weren't anything. That's why we're Canadian without having Ugandan, anything except an old passport. So yeah, that was that. The reason I'm so adamant about this is because I don't think people realize this, like, there's so much attached to being a citizen of Uganda when you own things. Like it's easier and cheaper to deal with banks, to deal with land. You can't own land unless you're Ugandan. And I think of so many millennials and like diasporans who are like me, like who wouldn't have this information. And I'm like trying to share it with you guys to realize that legit, think about like the land you inherit from your family. Where's that gonna go? Where? You're gonna come in with your whole Canadian passport, US passport, British passport, being like, I'm here, and they're gonna be like, what claim do you have? Like, there's so many, and you know what's crazy? There probably isn't an issue, but someone will make it an issue to make money. So if you can stop it being like, I'm Ugandan through and through, they'll be like, how? Prove it. Here's my passport. Why not? You know, for all of 200 USD, just get out of the way. So that's that. That was done. Thankfully, that's finished. You need your dual to do a lot of things. Let me find my paper that I did for my national ID. I'm not going to touch on the national ID process because I'm still waiting to actually get my national ID, but I did apply and everything. But on there, you need, it'll ask you your dual citizenship number, which I had to give. I think on here, though, I took by birth, but I don't think anyone will notice nor care, honestly, to be honest with you. But yeah, also, just to throw it out there, information-wise, you need to know, like, place of origin. I don't think I had to know it for anything except that form AA, but I think it just asked, like, where my parents were born. And I just put where they were born. But here, like, for national ID, it asks for district, sub-district, friggin' village number. I'm like, who the hell knows all this? Hella organized, though. I like to see it, but I don't know anyone who knows all that. So I had to go scavenging looking for all of that information. Anyway, so your dual citizenship will help with your national ID. Your national ID helps you get everything. You can do your national ID without the dual citizenship, but like I said, when it comes to claims for other things, if you're gonna move, you might as well do everything at once. Like why delay stuff? Like if you're gonna be here, like guys, I'm not joking. Driver's license, national ID, TIN, I'm doing everything. I'm registering everything. And I don't want anyone to bug me after that. I don't even want to see a ministry place ever. Lillian said, I've realized that there's a lot of corruption in Uganda. Yeah, there is. So if you can avoid it as much as possible, do things by the book for you, it's just better. It saves you down the road and it just solidifies you and makes you more legit so no one can come and tell you nothing. I don't want anyone to come to my family land and try and tell me sideways something because they're like, you're Canadian. No, I'm Ugandan. I'm Ugandan through and through. Leave me alone. Yeah, it's a long process. So all in all, when I wish I wrote when I had first gone my special pass, but it definitely was the first week of December. I'm sorry, first week of January, I started everything. Finally got everything April 17th. I will say a few of these weeks delay was my own fault. While I was waiting to get my birth certificate emailed to me, I could have done a lot of this. But anyway, What's the estimated total cost for everything? Oh, Victoria, that's a fantastic question. Take out a calculator and I'll tell you what I remember. So 70K for the Interpol, 150K from the Canadian consulate to get the that letter. However, your consulate or embassy might be different. Letter of sanity was 30K for me. So what are we at now? Like 250K. Like I said, I didn't go, like my lawyer was my grandpa, so he didn't charge me for like notarized oath of allegiance and like recommendation letter and stuff like that. So that I actually don't know how much that would cost. That's the only thing I couldn't tell you. And then in total, to submit these documents and for them to actually look through and approve you, it's 200 USD or 724K. So say without the lawyer part, you're looking at 1M to do everything. Then you have to equate for like the paperwork for the lawyer and stuff like that. But what I can say, citizens got everything for free, especially national ID cards. Yeah, national ID is for free. I don't pay for that. And also, oh my God, fun fact about national ID, it's so much faster, smoother, and like easier during COVID. Like if you can get your and more organized. If you can get your what's it called, appointment, like do it now. This is for all Ugandans. Do it now. Trust me. Like, and if you do it properly, which I'll do a video maybe next week because I'm supposed to go pick it up on Thursday. If I pick it up and everything is good, I'll do a video next live about that because that's a whole process in itself. But much easier than everyone's telling me horror stories. I'm like, oh, I only waited like an hour. People were telling me they waited from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Finally got seen. I'm like, bruh, yo. Thank you for all the information you provided. You're welcome. I hope it was informative. I know I ramble and talk a lot, but I wanted to make sure I give you all the information. Were you born in Uganda? Which should make things easier, I think. No, I wasn't. I was born in Sweden. That's why the whole trying to get my birth certificate was an issue because it was a country that's non-English speaking. So they needed to translate it into an English one. So they actually sent me an English one. I'm looking for it, but then I'm like, I'm not going to show it to you guys, obviously. But it was like it wasn't super easy. But once it was done, then it was quick. If you're born in an English-speaking country, say you weren't born in Uganda, yeah. If you're Ugandan, it's much easier. You just show your birth certificate, you get here. Granted, you got a birth certificate. Gotta look into that. Ooh, wanted to mention about visas. Why it's also helpful. You don't have to keep paying for visas when you come. Getting visas in Uganda is mad easy. Like, every time I come, it's on arrival, $50, 50 USD. You obviously have to travel with USD because they're not going to take it equivalent from Canadian dollars or whatever. But it's just annoying every time. Plus, you can save your money. It's COVID. That's a COVID test for you to travel. So things to consider. But yeah, it was saving that process. And oh, there was, I was saying this before when I was filming and I didn't realize it was a private video. So there was a year, like I've been coming back to Uganda every year since 2013, but always in December. Then one July I came, it was 2016. And they said with their chest, after I had just come in December, with their chest, it's 100 USD now. I'm like, where? Show me the document. Way, yeah. But I was going for a wedding. It was so like rush. I was like, ah. So I paid my 100 USD. Came back the same December. They brought it back to 50. When I say there's disorganization and never updated information in this country, that's really why I also do these videos. I'm like, please guys, we all can't be lost. Let me be lost and help y'all. But I don't know how like useful this might be in 6 months. They might change everything. So who knows? I want to buy a farmland, but scared of being sold fake land. Yeah, so that's a big thing. And also why I was like, I need to be a citizen. I don't want no one to come play with me trying to be like, oh, you bought this, but you didn't have the right documentation and you're Canadian. No, I'm Ugandan. Yeah, I might be Canadian, but I'm Ugandan too. Don't play me. So those things are helpful. Like you need to really build a base while you're in Uganda. Build a network. Get legitimate lawyers on your side. Get legitimate brokers, get people who can go and find this stuff out for you, you know? Luckily for me, I'm in a family full of lawyers, so no one can come and scam me sideways, but get like land titles and stuff like that. Like you can obviously get checked when you find a legitimate person. Don't just be using anybody because there's a lot of crazy people here. I was born in England, but I want to start my dual citizenship because my dad was born here in Uganda. Yeah, do it. And you know also why it's so good and helpful and necessary? Things like when I was going to Ghana, all my friends I think all my friends. Yeah, all my friends except for like 2. Everyone went on Ugandan passports. Ghana has this beautiful thing of trying to do cross-continental travel and promote. So they just waltzed in, no wahala. Mind you, they have wahala going everywhere else in the world, so I do feel their pain. Now I understood. I was like, all of this? All this for a visa? Just to let me come party in your country and spend dollars? Like, it was crazy. I had to go as a Canadian. I had to go to the Ghana consulate here exactly 2 weeks prior to the date of me traveling, exactly like 14 days, pay $150 USD or something, or 110 USD or something like that, just to get a visa, just to go party in Africa, when it's like, as a Ugandan, I can go and enjoy my motherland for free. So yeah, get it. It's beneficial when it comes to investing. It's beneficial when it comes to travel within the continent. The continent is growing. There's amazing, beautiful things happening. Like, people go all the way to Bahamas for beautiful beaches you can go see in Zanzibar, Mauritius, all these gorgeous places. Why be limited to your passport, you know? So anyway, that's such a side note. Gee, what a painful process. I've got this to look forward to next month. Would you be able to share the link for the cover letter, please? Yeah, I'll look for it. But if you watched from earlier from this live, literally what I said word for word is what it was. But I'll look for the link. I don't know if I saved the exact link, but literally all I did was Google dual citizenship cover letter, Africa, I think. Maybe the Africa part wasn't even in it. And then some Ghanaian guy popped up. I don't speak Swedish anymore. I did as a baby. I was one of those babies you could never understand because all they spoke was like Swedish, Luganda, and broken English. So unfortunately, I understand Luganda. Obviously, I speak English, but my Swedish is gone. It's gone, unfortunately. But I randomly, I'm like, oh, a lot of these words are similar to English. I feel like it'd be easy to learn. Okay, yes, I would also like to I'll link the letter if I can find it to this video. But once it's done, if I find it. If I don't, I'll just write word for word what I wrote, and then you guys can copy paste, change your name, change your whatever. You're good. I'm definitely going to start my dual citizenship before traveling back. Yes, please. If you're in the country now, take advantage now. Do it now. It's just so much easier. Even things like, oh my God, the process, it's annoying, but it's actually not as bad. Like, once you just follow the steps I told you, it's actually really and truly not that bad. It was just worse me trying to figure it out on my own. Even just trying to find internal affairs on Google, it kept showing Ginger Road. You guys, I drove around, not circles around like Clock Tower. I'm like, where is it? Just to find out it's on Old Port Bell Road. It's right there. Insane. Oh, sorry. And if you deal with internal affairs, ever, if you go, they actually open at 7 or 8. But whatever time they open, just Google the time they open, go 30 minutes before, because they actually let you in and you'll be first in line. Everyone told me horror stories about dealing with internal affairs. I was like, guys, I waltz in. But like, I'm on Canadian time, you guys. I don't waste my time. Time is money. I don't waste time. Time is precious. So I go there, I'd be out. I'm like, I don't understand. People literally, and it's funny, you leave, maybe it's like 10:30. Big ass line. I'm like, of course you can't just come in the morning. Come when they open, crack of the minute they open. I'm like, hi, I'm here. They're like, oh, you're here again. Yeah, I'm here. Also, another annoying thing about internal affairs, they don't have proper information of all the things you need. So my special pass especially had 0 information. At least the dual citizenship, they give you a list of things. You make sure you checklist everything, have like 10 passport pictures and just go, right? Special pass, no information. So there were things I had to go now print. I had to go get this. I had to redo. There was a time I went in and out 3 times, and I didn't realize they had like plain clothed workers who looked like civilians. And some chick came up to me. She's like, "You've been in and out 3 times today. What are you doing? What are you up to? I don't understand." I'm like, "Yo, relax. Put some printers in this facility. You wouldn't have people coming in and out. Even charges on 1K, small. I had to walk all the way to Total Across, and then the meatpack area for some reason has a whole slew of printers and stuff. So that's where I kept going. She didn't understand and she wanted to yell at me. I'm like, relax. Anyway, yeah, Ginger Road. I was so irritated, like going around for them to put the wrong address on Google Maps. Anyway, make sure your children don't get the same challenges. Yeah, that's also why, like, I don't even want to go through these processes again. Like, I literally want to have my kids give it to somebody and be like, just register them, please, as born Ugandans. And I'll do the same thing in Canada. Canada's more organized. And like, yeah, we good. I can't. I don't want to see the inside of those buildings. After I get my passport, my national ID, everything, I don't want to see the inside of any of these buildings again. Hi, Rachel. I just love your content. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pearl of Africa. Yeah, so I think if that's all the questions, that pretty much is everything I wanted to mention on this process. Yeah, like I said, just get it done. It's annoying, but it's well worth it. Like I said, you don't want other people trying to tell you how you're not Ugandan. If you're indigenous Ugandan, your birth rate is Ugandan. If you're non-Ugandan and you want to pay 5,000 USD to become a Ugandan citizen, more power to you, bless you. Yeah, you just have to make sure you get everything and that you're organized. That's pretty much all. I don't know what the next week live will be. I think I want to do it where we're talking about ways you could ship things from abroad. I have a whole slew of companies that I just want to mention and share with you. Also share my stories with shipping with certain companies, shipping with others, how long it took, what type of packages you can bring, how much they cost, how much each company costs per pound, per kilogram, whatever. I think that'll be super informative. So that's probably going to be next week's live. And then maybe the week after that, I'm definitely sure, granted all these offices are open, that I'll have my national ID and then we can go into that. So please feel free to DM me any questions that you have. I try to answer all of them. Granted that you're asking questions that aren't just hello, and you leave it at that. If you just say hello to me, I'm deleting it. I'm not answering you. And then oftentimes it's hella full, so I have to also filter through when I have time. Like one day I'll answer 10, next day or a couple days later I'll answer. So there's a lot. Sorry if I don't get back to you properly or on time. Do you have any plans leaving Uganda again, or living in, like, yeah, I live in Uganda, I'm staying in Uganda. Leaving, yeah, I need to go to Canada. I need to pack up my things and bring them like I had planned to do in March of 2020. March of 2020, and now it's 2021. I was talking with my mom and my sister today on FaceTime, and my sister was like, oh my God, it's coming to 2 years. Why do people think you're moving back? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I've literally been doing lives telling people, even in my vlogs, my process, my dual citizenship process, me renovating a house, crazy. People are nuts. Hello, godson. I'm saying hello back because it's alive. But if you DM me, hello, that's it. I'm not answering you. You guys are mad. Time is money. I need to put that on a shirt with an African sign in the middle. Time is money. Don't waste my time. We always want to be wasting people's time like crazy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this live. I hope you guys found it informative. If you have any specific questions, please leave it in the description box below. I'm more likely to answer them there before I answer DM, before I answer the email. And yeah, because I just feel like a lot of people might have questions you may have specific to the dual citizenship process or visa process or what's it called? Special pass process. Please avoid having to get a special pass. Don't catch yourself in a pandemic, and don't procrastinate like I do. Then you'll be fine. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Like always, please remember to level up, elevate, live your best life. Stay organized. Let's get to the shmoney with the land that we'll own as Ugandans, not as a Canadian, fully Ugandan, and whatnot. And yeah, let's just change Africa in a financial way with our own pockets. We'll benefit ourselves and benefit the people around us in our community. That's really what I want to do. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll check you guys in the next video. Bye.